Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back for some more Cimmerian September madness, mayhem, barbaric, good, clean fun. The last story in Conan the Barbarian from the Gnome Press edition 1953-1954 was The Devil in Iron. And as soon as I started reading it, I remember having read it before, and I'm vaguely certain that it was different from the Lynn Carter, L. Sprague de Camp version, in mostly in the description of the city. Other things, maybe if I get a chance to go back through those books, I will be able to come back at you and tell you what exactly seems so different about it. This was an interesting story, even though the critics say it was one of his worst stories. I don't think so. I think it was pretty interesting. There was a little bit of there was one thing that really was kind of weak. I'll get to that as we go through the rough synopsis. But it starts with a fisherman coming to the island of Zapur and seeing the ruined city from a millennia ago, I believe it was, and he finds the dome, the central building of the city, and spies this strange man lying on a slab of stone, a dais, something like that, with a magnificent curved dagger, similar to his own, but obviously much better quality, and sneaks in and takes the dagger off the miraculously preserved dead body, only to have the dead body rise up and slay him for his insolence of trying to steal this precious and cursed curved dagger. I picture it very much like a karambit, to be honest. I don't know why, but I'm a big fan of those, so that's what I pictured it. If you know what one of those is, otherwise a curved dagger, I just pictured it the other way. But anyways, and then it cuts to what was his name, Lord Jahangir Aga, concocting a plan to lure Conan to basically the same island, unaware of what's really going on there, to, of course, assassinate Conan for things, you've been following along, the rivalries between the nations and Conan's rise to power as one of the bandit raiding lords, or whatever you want to call them. To bear with me, some of the names of the countries and the nations get jumbled up in my old brain. And Conan falls for the trap, that being because of the bait, which is a young noblewoman turned slave, which always seems to be the case. It's never just like a really attractive slave girl from slave background. It's always some noblewoman who's been thrust into slavery. Somehow that makes her more desirable or something. But she's to wink at Conan during a meeting and lure him with her feminine wiles, then to pretend she escaped, which she actually does escape, which is kind of weird. Why not just... But anyways, she flees to the island. Conan goes to the island, discovers that the ruined city from a millennia ago has now been magically rebuilt, because he had been there like a month ago or something. And okay, again, I think the story would have been better if it was a little bit longer to explain why some of those things were the way they were. But this magical city is full of people who had died in the past, but from the ancestors of the fishermen's people who revolted against the devil, as you'll see. And these people are only awake at night, and then they go back to death, sleep, whatever. The whole time they're awake, they're in a drugged out, dreamy, half awake state. Which, why bring them back if they're going to be like that? Why not just get new people? If you're the resurrected demon lord and iron ruler of this place, just find new people. If your former subjects are going to be that zonked out half the time and unconscious the other half of the time, which that being the daytime, it kind of defeats the purpose unless you're really attached to those people, I guess. And of course Conan gets to the island and is chasing the girl, trying to rescue her, and comes across various trials and tribulations in the city of Zippor, and eventually finds the knife, the cursed knife that the fisherman stole, because it's the only thing that can actually harm Khosrau. He's apparently he was a demon that created this new form made of iron, or something like that, basically making him invulnerable to anything but the dagger. And you can guess what's gonna happen when Conan gets the dagger and has to fight the guy, and then he and Octavia live happily ever after. No, not really, but at least for a night or two, I'm guessing. It's not the strongest story, but with a little bit more detail, a little bit more work. Maybe like 10 more pages to add to the 40 some odd pages, but still a lot does happen in 40 pages compared to other books I've read. There's several books I could name, of the 200-page category that don't have as much action and excitement as any of the stories in this particular book, which I will be sealing up and packing away for at least a year. If I do come back to it next year, it'll just be kind of a reference, because I'm going to try and jump into the next one, which is The Sword of Conan. Hopefully I'll be able to finish that one, and maybe the other one, the next one, which is I think King Conan, before the end of the month, but I don't think I'm going to get much further than that, with less than 2 weeks left of the month. But that's what I've got for you today. Definitely a fun story, definitely some interesting ideas that I think I would borrow, as I always ask, what would you steal from this story for your role-playing games? There's definitely some ideas I would love to implement in any one of several of my RPGs that I'm running right now. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section. We can talk about it, and I will see you guys later on today for the book club, where we will be talking about Hero's Journey by Sterling Lanier, and finally put that one to bed before we move on to the next book in the Appendix N book club. So I will see you guys later this afternoon, evening. You guys have a great day, and as always, happy trails.